All right, y'all, I'm gonna do a quick update on the newest section that we've planted here at Mary's. Last video I did an update on the big food forest system growing crazily. So now we're going into here, a few months old. I think we kind of finished planting this out like right before summer, like coming into summer. So about a few months, maybe 3 some change. So we have a bunch of cucurbits on the ground, watermelons, Seminole squash, Seminole pumpkin, here's one, or here's a couple actually, looking pretty good. Yeah, we've been having an amazing rainy season so far, so things are definitely growing. There's another one starting to get some color. Rogue, watermelons everywhere. Not the best conditions for watermelons because constant rain sort of makes them swell too fast and crack and kind of rot. The vines rot easily. So, but still worth. Seed is really cheap. If you buy a bunch of watermelon seeds, might as well. Why not have watermelons all over the place, even if they might not be the sweetest thing in the world? It's still really refreshing, especially after you put it in the fridge for a couple hours. So nice ground cover. See, you can see what I'm talking about here. It splits open, cracks, and then the bugs just get to them really fast. But yeah, you can see a little bit of everything here. Kind of just a little bit of everything. Yeah, I didn't really put much thought into this planting. Kind of just wanted to get things in the ground for summertime. So we have a bunch of okra. Okra is doing a very amazing job of just filling out the space. I mean, look at how big they got over my head. Beautiful. A lot of them, we can only eat so much, and I've been traveling, so I haven't been around to harvest as much as I would like. We have a winged bean, you can see here. Took to my little DIY trellis really nicely. Overgrew it quite easily, but still somewhat sturdy. Pretty proud of that little mini trellis that I kind of didn't have any confidence in when I first did it. Okay, but yeah, I just wanted to show kind of like the conditions that okra, or just highlight the importance of okra during the summer. Again, seed is super cheap when you buy a big amount of okra seeds. And if nothing else, you can just seed a bunch of okra along with other cover crop species, and you could have a summer cover crop, and you can actually eat some of your cover crops. So don't sleep on okra on the summer. It makes a very, very great cover crop, but also something that you can eat. Another beautiful Seminole pumpkin looking thing. I did a couple of different squashes out here, but I forget exactly which ones. Okra flower, super beautiful okra flower. Yeah, I did the Clemson spineless okra, and then the burgundy red, or burgundy something okra. So a lot of okra, but like I said, more of a cover crop species than anything. Nice swall of Mexican sunflower on the eastern side. But yeah, that's kind of the mini summer veggie garden that I did. Oh yeah, and most importantly, a little legacy of moringa. So you can get away with growing moringa in a veggie bed because they're pretty, like once the okra come out, you'll see that the moringa will be kind of like the legacy, and it'll be a nice, moringa works well with vegetables because it doesn't cast that much shade, and you can prune it, all the time, and it'll take that pruning, and you can maybe use it as like a structure for tomato trellis, whatever. It works well with veggies if you keep it pruned back all the time. And then the little kind of agroforestry row that kind of surrounds the vegetable plot is coming along really nicely. We have papaya. We've been managing the casters really nicely. The understory is starting to fill in, unfortunately, with a lot of Bidens. But there are characters under here. We got some pineapple, prickly pear cactus. The sugar canes are starting to to get some size to them. Of course, more moringa. Can't go wrong with moringa everywhere. Another papaya. The China berries are starting to leaf out really nicely. And the long-term species of ice cream beans are starting to come up as well really nicely. I'll show them as well. Got some banana varieties here. So yeah, this is gonna be more veggies. We're thinking about going hard with strawberries this winter. So maybe this might all be strawberries. So ideally I would have liked to seen this all cover cropped during the summer with something. Could have been sweet potatoes, could have been a bunch of Seminole pumpkins. Just imagine all of this crazy with something to harvest, and then we do one big harvest, and then in the fall we can put whatever we want in there, and we were able to squeeze out a harvest. But I didn't get around to doing it, so we just left it nice and mulched up. Just gonna have to do a little bit of weeding, and then we'll be able to plant into it. But this taro, the Edo variety, which is like kind of a smaller root, is doing very nicely here. I want to definitely experiment with this more. China berry growing right next to it. Another China berry. Really stoked on the China berries. Love them so much. Let's see if I can find anything in here. Not really. Just big line of support species. Pigeon peas coming up. And that's technically what this is. Just a big hedge of support species and different species of plants that we find useful. Cottons are starting to fill out. Got a nice little grasshopper thing right there. Nice. The cottons are starting to sort of fill out a little bit. Starting to flower to more sugarcane here. More China berry, more of that Edo. Got native pokeweed popping up. Of course, the jack beans on the edges. But yeah, you can just see it's just supposed to be a wall of vegetation. And slowly but surely over time, we'll plug in. Right now, it's just a lot of support species, and then we'll plug in more valuable species in as time goes by. But for now, the main sort of long-term crop that we have are these right here. And they're all starting to come up now. These are the ice cream beans, Inga. So these will be protected by all the other plants all around, and there'll be a long-term canopy, and then we can plug in things underneath them as needed. So yeah, that's about it. Just a bunch of moringa as well. And cotton looking very nicely. Again, cotton doesn't grow quite as fast as castor, but it does sort of have nicer chop and drop material, and kind of holds its own in the shade a little bit better than the castor. So it's trade-offs between the two. So a bunch of service species, China berry, moringa, China berry, moringa. It's always a good idea to just try to get your canopy established as quick as possible. Whatever you can get your hands on, whether it's moringa, China berry, in my case, bananas. If you have the money to splurge, go get the Corymbia torrelianas, But as soon as if you have those canopy trees from day one, then it's nice. You're just waiting for them to grow, and then you can plug in things in between. Sorghum Sudan grass cover crop experiment was quite the success. So yeah, super cool to see. We cut this down already once, so this is all regrowth. So really interesting to see how awesome this did as a scattered cover crop. And then in here we just have thankfully the deer seem to have backed off on the cassavas, so we have some established cassavas. Boom. We have some chayas that are struggling along, but maybe they'll come up later. And then yeah, this will be the next area to plant this fall/winter. But that's it. I just wanted to do a quick little update on kind of what you can get away with in terms of summer veggies. And when we have a really nice summer, rainy summer, just seed a bunch of heat-loving varieties. Oh look, this tomato's kind of doing its thing, but I put a bunch of Lucania here because I figured the tomatoes weren't going to do well, so I did a backup of Lucania. And this is some sort of cucumber right here that's doing well in the rainy season, which is very strange. So it'd be cool to save seed off of this thing. Hopefully it produces. But yeah, anyways, it's just a good sort of a example of what you can get away with. Like I said, if you just plug in a bunch of heat tolerant seeds right before summer hits and then just let summer do its thing. Of course, you're gonna get a lot of weeds if you don't stay on top of it, but you can also squeeze out a bunch of food with just a little bit of seeding activity. So that's all I got. Peace.